Little Al Frazzle was having a big breakfast with just Daddy one morning, and his father said to him, "Son, I must give you fair warning. I will be away at work all day today, but your mommy is not feeling well. She has caught something of a cold and has developed an awful coughing spell. She has a slight fever too and must stay in her bed all day, so I'm afraid that you will have to take care of yourself. Perhaps you could go outside and play." And then Daddy kissed Little Al Frazzle on top of his head and reminded him to take good care of Mommy today while she was resting and recovering in bed. Little Al Frazzle thought for a while about what to do today. Then he spied on the table the empty dishes which were left on Mommy's breakfast tray, and he came up with a wondrously wonderful plan. He would make Mommy and Daddy a delicious dinner, as best as a small little boy can. He was not allowed to touch the oven, the stove, or even the cooking utensils, so he had a grand idea. He could use his crayons, paper, safety scissors, and even his brightly colored pencils. There wasn't much time to put this plan together. He had to be both creative and imaginative, thoughtful and clever. Wait a minute, my friends, and instead of me doing this dictation, let's let Little Al finish the story with his own narration. Little Al continues. "I know that Daddy will be hungry when he gets home," Little Al thought, "but I cannot make him anything complicated, fancy, and most definitely not store-bought. But Daddy always tells me that homemade is the best, so I reasoned to myself that I should put his words to the test. I brought out my crayons, paper, safety scissors, and colored pencils. These would be my cooking utensils. And I started to work right away. I was on an important mission, so I spread out all my supplies onto the table right there in our family's small little kitchen. First I got busy drawing the plates, forks and spoons. I did this while humming to myself some very happy and sweet little tunes. After drawing and coloring them, I carefully cut them all out, thinking all the while that this is gonna make Mommy and Daddy happy, definitely, without any doubt. Daddy likes hamburgers and salted French fries, so that's what I'm going to make him. He won't be able to believe his two eyes. Next, I drew and cut out the hamburger buns, then the lettuce, tomato, and onions. Not the hot onions, but the sweet-tasting ones. And finally it was time to start making the fries, and I planned on making 100 or so of those tasty little guys. When I was all done, I cleaned up my mess. I was so happy and excited that my idea and my work would become such a surprise and success. I looked in on Mommy, she was still soundly sleeping, and throughout the rest of the day I kept checking and peeking. Finally it was almost time for Daddy to come home to Mommy and me. I was so happy and excited, my heart filled with genuine glee. As Daddy walked through the front door, I was waiting for him, standing soundly at attention, looking for him to smile, nod, or to give me one of Daddy's delightfully glorious grins. I quickly ran up to him and told him that Mommy seemed a little bit better, as she was down in the sitting room reading a book in her warmest woolen sweater. Then I told him that I had made a special dinner all by myself, and then he joked at me saying, "You and what sort of elf come and see, I exclaimed, and took Daddy by his hand and showed him my artwork. Daddy smiled and said, "Isn't this grand? You have made me my very favorite dinner, and your food looks amazing," he said as his eyes showed a grateful and genuine glimmer. "But then, what am I supposed to do with this?" he said as he handed me a large brown paper bag. And after I opened and peeked into it, I said, "Daddy, I surely cannot boast, gloat, nor even brag, because I made you a pretend dinner which we really can't eat. But what you have brought home is my favorite kind of food. This is delightful, dandy, and oh so neat." Mommy, Daddy, and I ate Mexican food that night. We had tacos, tortillas, Spanish rice, and fried strawberry ice cream, my fondest and favorite, sweetest delight. And as for the paper-made dinner I had thoughtfully prepared, it is now in an envelope in a treasure box that my mommy and Daddy sweet